Before I go the fuck in on this video, so everyone knows I'm a fully self-produced artist. I have a beat site, samuel.earth/beats. There's a link in the description on literally all of my videos, and I give out free beats for non-profit use, but I also charge for leases and exclusives. If anyone wants to know the difference between leases and exclusives, I have a full video on that I'll link in the description as well. Now, I'm coming at this because of all of this random shit I just mentioned at a bunch of different angles as it is, but on the topic of why music producers should give away free beats, this is part 2. Part 1 I will also link in the description. And because of all this, I want to ask a really important question. If the artist isn't charging for the music, why should the producer charge for the beat? Let's talk about it. Now, a lot of people get really bothered by this. This implies that to offer the value of your own self-expression, your own music, to offer that to the world for nothing in return, you should be able to get the tools for it, like the beat as well, for example, for nothing in return as well. Anyone could say something about carpenters and hammers, artists and paintbrushes, doctors and stethoscopes, so long as these people are doing work for free. But in reality, what anyone trying to make that analogy is missing is that a beat is a fucking digital product that can be infinitely reproduced, resampled, and so on and so forth, until, of course, you know, the actual source of it, the stems, the wave files that make it up entirely are deleted from wherever they are or were to start with, right? Hammers, paintbrushes, stethoscopes. Can you create multiple MP3 or wave copies for free with the use of a computer and now most likely even a phone? Fucking, I don't think so. This is disregarding 3D printers, obviously. So you can't do any of that shit yet, last time I checked. So when you look at the cost of replication, of making new beats, different beats, that's just time. Any producer who doesn't think so, they have to invest a little more, I guess. But just because a producer puts time into a beat and they give it out for free for non-profit use, that doesn't mean they're not gonna get money in return. Maybe it does, but really only directly speaking. Producers and artists seem to be so fucking annoyingly focused on making money that they don't realize money isn't the only thing people give a fuck about in the world. And by people, I'm not just talking about people, I'm also talking about them. If you're talking custom beats, I mean, personally, to give an artist a free custom beat, I can probably literally never see myself doing, other than, I guess, myself as an artist. But I guess I just care that much about my time. And that's just me. If any producer sees this shit and they completely disagree with it, they can keep doing that shit that they want to do. That's just them. I hope that if you watch this, I hope you continue to do your thing, whether it changes or not. And maybe all of this sounds a little hypocritical, but the beats I personally give out for free, they are given out because the artists are going to use them to put out free music that builds their brands. The music business and business in general are undergoing great, rapid changes in everything from surface to infrastructure. And you don't need to know about them to know that, let alone see evidence of it. Maybe this is just the way I see it. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's both. But the way I look at it, I think that creation, this is something I have been keeping from you guys for a while, but it's something I've been thinking about for probably even longer. But creation, like art itself, it's all becoming less and less timeless, and it's becoming more of time itself. This reminds me a lot of something called the long tail effect, which I talk about in my most disgusting rant on my YouTube channel right now, my music industry mega rant / apology, which I'll drop a link to in the description. But music and time are becoming one. This shit I'm talking about, with nouns turning into verbs, it's real. I really think that's starting to happen. And I constantly try to emulate it as a brand. That's why a lot of things that concern other people nowadays, especially artists and producers, they don't really concern me as an artist and or producer. And I know people hear me say things like this, I don't get much feedback from it, but it's closer to true than it used to be. If you look at how accessible and easy it is to just make something and put it up nowadays, the people who contribute the most to that are somehow the ones making the most money. The ones who are making the least are only making the least so long as they're beginning to contribute to it until they reach a great reservoir that keeps giving them the freedom that all of us seem to be looking for. Isn't that weird? Music is becoming a form of content. It's becoming integrated into content. If you want even the smallest scale proof of this, look at Instagram stories and the fact that you can share SoundCloud songs on them. You can share songs on the stories themselves through, I think what is it, Apple Music? Some integration, I don't fucking know. All of this shit is just, you know, bleh. But if you want to grow in either the age of today or the age of tomorrow, or both, you have to integrate yourself into content itself as quickly, seamlessly, effortlessly, and with as much finesse as possible. If you're an artist, that means putting your music up everywhere, constantly. If you're a producer, that means giving out free beats everywhere, constantly, with your name on and tag and all that other shit, of course. You need something to sustain all that shit. In the meantime, like myself, you can take the old ways of doing it, unlike myself, the ones that actually do make money. There are so many musicians doing shit like this that they don't have 9-to-5s because they, you know, that's enough for them. A lot of the old ways, the money ways, the publishing, the royalties, the CDs, vinyls, merchandise, even streaming, you can do those. Nobody's stopping you. You can also look at the new ones, the ones of tomorrow, and mix them with the old ones. You could be like,
you know what? I kind of fuck with what that Samuel kid is talking about.
I'm gonna take this and use them to my benefit.
But maybe not that. I don't like that idea. I don't think my brand's ready for it. I don't think my brand really needs it.
At the moment. Or maybe ever. Maybe the people aren't ready. Or maybe you look at it and it's just fucking stupid to you. And all of that is 1,000% okay with me. And I hope it's 1,000% okay with you too. But what matters to me, at least, is that you are just doing your thing, like I said earlier. And probably just as importantly, you're catering to your fans in the process. You're giving them, the people, what they want or what they need. Who am I to argue with that shit? You know what I mean? If investing in music isn't like throwing dirt into a giant hole that gets bigger and emptier the more you put into it, I am willing to bet that it's heading in that fucking direction, maybe. And that's okay. I think that's okay. More than okay. I think all this shit is okay. Just because you love to do something doesn't mean it's the one thing in life you need to be paid for. You know how many streams of income some of the richest people in the world have that have nothing to do with each other? It is pointless. A lot of this is pointless. And I'm not saying that to be depressing or anything. I'm saying that because we will reach a point where there will be too much to go around. But again, if you can't beat that, why not join it? Why not cater to it? Why not cater more than anyone else? Why not be the trend? Or be the becoming of the trend? To bring up arguments like,
well, rappers need producers.
That brings up an entire debate of who needs who more. And how much does that matter?
The song is 50% mine because I made the beat.
Okay, so the artist has to pay for the beat, so that's their song and yours. If you make a music video at your homie's mansion and your homie lets you use it for free because he and his mansion are gonna be on YouTube getting promoted to tens of thousands of people and you make ad money from it, does that money go to your friend? I hope it goes to the producer. Do you? I'm just kidding. I don't care about any of that. I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying because if I were you, I also would not care about it. There are beats I made 2 years ago that people are releasing now. You know how many people are using those same beats for non-profit use? I'm just making beat by beat by beat and peeling back what seems to be an endless amount of layers as time goes by. You know how many people are using Cash Money AP beats for free for non-profit use? Do you think he gives a fuck? When you have a bunch of attention, when you already have a bunch of leverage to use for the sake of monetary benefit, if I were like,
well, I have a 3-for-1 deal right now,
I'm willing to bet more people are going to take advantage of it than, you know, if I did the same thing about a year ago when I started making these videos. If making a beat is a 1 to 8 hour shift for a producer, how does it even work? People kind of just say things like this as if they're set in stone and they're like a universal truth. Are they really set in stone if the definitions are mutually shared by the people at the table upon which the stones sit? What the fuck? Like, what I'm really getting at is, do you really consider it a shift? Do you really need to be paid for it? Like it's some kind of job to make music? What kind of return on investment are they gonna get? Because the more of a return on investment you give them, the closest thing to that, the more they're willing to give you, and over an extended period of time. And I'm sure there are plenty of factors that go into this that I didn't even mention or think about. But does any of that not make sense? The amount of negotiation, compromise, and even conversation that goes into things like this is another good reason, in my opinion, for an artist to just make their own beats and not have to worry about such shit. Does it not all come down to time, money, and energy? And how much do you have and use of those things at the end of the day? I also want to add that if you give out free beats, people are more likely to even give them a chance and listen to them. The more places your beats are, the more artists use them in songs for nonprofit use, the more your name will get out there. And are the richest producers not the ones whose names are furthest out there? I don't know, but if I had to guess nowadays, it's not the same as the rappers, where a lot of the biggest rappers in the game make way less money than a lot of their biggest fans probably think. But what do you think? If the artist isn't charging for the music, should the producer charge for the beat? Why? Please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you guys have any ideas you want me to talk about in future videos, and I'll give you a shout out if and when I use them. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description of all my social media. Also at the bottom of the description there are links to my new production kits where you can find all the hardware and software that I use to make music and these videos. If you buy any, I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos for you guys. I made all the beats in this video. If you want to use them or get them for free, it's 75 beats and a new one every Friday at the moment. In a couple months it may actually be 100 if you don't take advantage of of this offer, it will get better and bigger. But you can find links to each one in the description that I use from first to last, or at samemail.earth/beats. That's where the email offer is, or whatever. Make sure to leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.